Hiya folks, we're out here. We're trying to see if we can get this thing running properly. A lot of you have been asking the questions in the comment section on the previous videos. Did the fuel filter help when I checked, because we found it was in the wrong way. Let's find out in this video what actually happened. Oh. Right, well, as you know, we found two issues previously with this car. It was running very, very woolly. There was no performance when you put your foot down. And when we done a bit of investigation in previous videos, I changed the fuel filter as part of the what I thought was going to be possibly the problem. And we found out that fuel filter was actually fitted the wrong way round. So we changed that. What happened the first time I drove it was that the woolliness sort of disappeared, although there was still a bit of hesitation. So it did improve finding that fuel filter in the wrong way. Then we took the throttle body off and we found a little Venturi in there that was totally blocked. I've done that in a previous video. And again, that I was hoping was going to cure the initial starting up problem. When this car starts from cold, what was happening was the revs would sort of go high and then it would drop down a bit. And then if you revved it, then it would sort of hesitate and then cut out. And it would do that for about a minute or so. And then it would sort of be okay, but the performance was still not as good as what it should be. So lucky enough, we've got Sharon's Vectra over there. So what I thought I'd do, I'll take the mass airflow sensor.
Who thought that'd do it?
What?
Who thought that'd do it?
I've done it.
Whose idea?
What, your idea? He comes along, and as I'm diagnosing something, he pops up with what I was going to say next, and then he takes the credit for it. That's what he does, yeah? But I'm the one who instigated it, because what I actually found out, I plugged the diagnostic checker into Sharon's car, and the voltage across the MAF sensor was only about 0.7 to 1 volts. Now I thought it should have been higher than that, especially when you rev the engine. I thought it should go up. So what I thought I'd do, I couldn't do it on Sharon's car, which was a known good one, because I've taken the battery off and that's now on charge, so I couldn't actually test that. So what I thought I'd do, I'll take her mass airflow sensor out. And for you who don't know what a mass airflow sensor is, this is what a mass airflow sensor is. It lives in the air ducting from the airbox to the inlet. And I don't know whether you can see in there. No, you can't see in there, can you? It's got a couple of fine little elements in there. And they can get coated with crap, but this one was obviously clear. This is the one that was off of this car. I've now put Sharon's one on there. So I've literally, I'll just show you where it goes. For those of you who haven't seen the previous videos, the mass airflow sensor on this lives here, right in between there. So all I had to do was undo these two Jubilee clips, withdraw that, take the electrical connector off, and I've just put, as I say, Sharon's one off of a Vectra over there. This is the one from the Vectra. So what we found with regards to the performance issue was that the throttle body under here, which lives under this intake there, right on top of the manifold, that was that had a blocked Venturi on it, so we cleaned that out. What?
What's that called?
Say that again, baby.
What's that bit called that you've just changed?
That's a mass airflow sensor.
Mass hairflow?
Air.
Mass hairflow that you can have when you've got a convertible and your hair flows in the wind.
Not quite the same, baby.
Oh, it is a mass hairflow.
No, that's what the roof down, that's what that does.
Yeah, because I've got lots of hair, it flows in the wind.
Anyway, so we put that on. I left the car, as I say, from cold again. Started the car up from cold, and it was acting like a normal car. In other words, that hesitation and the fluttering of the starting up had disappeared. I took it for a drive. I went up the road. It totally transformed it. This is now performing as it should do. So it did have a little misfire, which I thought yesterday when I drove it yesterday, I thought, well, it could be the mass airflow sensor. It felt like a coil pack. Like it was missing at the higher end of the rev range. When I've just taken up the road, as I said, the acceleration was straight there as it should be. But it did have a couple of misfires, so I drove it around the block a couple of times because I think you're supposed to let the computer adapt. And that's what happened first of all when I done the fuel filter. It was still very boggy, and then it sort of cleared after about, I don't know, 10 miles. So basically the mass airflow sensor was causing the woolliness up through the rev range. And it also caused the, it started up all right, but it would hesitate and then clonk down to zero. So this is now performing back to first class better than it's ever done, and I'm well happy with it. So yeah, it's really running well now. So what I've got to do now is just the bits of bodywork around it. We're at the stage now, I've got to do things like the headlamps. These have got to be sanded back, so I'll be doing that. I'm not worried about this at the moment, as I say, the bumper being cut back, because it actually, the actual fact, it looks like a factory finish, to be honest with you. This wing we're going to sort out. Jimmy's going to actually sort this out for me, because he's going to need to fade it into the door a bit, so I reckon. So I'm going to let Jimmy do that. I don't need to do that. You've seen me do the bumper anyway, so you get the idea. There's a few more bits around the outside. There's a bit of a... Someone's poured something into the lock there, as you can see. And that's going to be done. There's a little bit of scuffing on that bit of bumper there, on the door trim there. So a couple of little things need doing. There's a few minor dents in it. There's a little car park dink there, so I'll probably sort that out. There's a little scratch there, I'll probably sort that out. When we blow the door in, let's say that will probably take that and that in at the same time. And there's a little scuff on that bumper there as well. Not bumper, on that door trim as well. So all that will be taken in with the door, with that front wing there. Coming round it, I'm going to take this stupid cover which someone stuck on there, peel that off of there, look, and just put that back to normal body. So that'll be done, that'll be repainted. Coming round it, there's nothing around the back that needs to be done, everything's fine around there. There's a couple of little things here, one there, and I think there's one there as well. Little one there as well, just again, car park things. Might be able to push them out. If not, we'll just put a little bit of filler in them and do that, and just blow them in. The wings, everything else is fine. All that door's fine, and then that's basically it. Just straighten that little bit of trim up in the corner there where it's just the clip's not held in properly. That's not a problem. And just then it needs a good valet. As far as the engine work's concerned, it's running absolutely first class. Now let me just start it up. Absolutely purrs, it does. Lovely quiet engine. As you know, we've got a new timing belt on there, we've got a new water pump on there, we've done an engine service, we've done the suspension at the front. Now don't forget, I wanted to get all this sorted within a budget of £300, as if we were going to flip the car. We're not flipping it anymore, but the main issue, as I said to you, was the cosmetics. We didn't have to do the water pump and the timing belt, but I wanted to do that because I didn't know the previous history of the car. And as I say, I had a budget of £300. We're up to about £270 at the moment, I think. The tinkering about bit is just going to be valeting the car, buffing up these headlights, and that's how much money I would probably spend on it if I was going to out this now. So I've done a lot of work to it. I'm not counting the suspension work, although we did have to change a spring because it did have a spring on it that was broken on the front passenger side. But I bought 2 springs, and while I was changing both springs over, I noticed that one of the shock absorbers had gone. So I actually just bought them a cheap pair for £45 and put them on as well. So technically speaking, if you want to add that into the equation, I spent just over £300, about £330 I suppose, which still isn't too bad. I bought this car for £475. It was in very good condition, low mileage, 74,000 miles. I thought it was 77, which I put up there. I'm going to take that off now because I'm going to write a new label out for that. I put a label on for the timing belt there, as you can see, when I changed the timing belt and the water pump. So I'll change that to 74,000 miles. And basically, in total, that car owes me £450, what I bought it for, and nearly £800. So when I finish valeting it, it should be a good car, and I could probably flip that, I would imagine, because it's quite a rare one, this one. It's the Irmscher Astra convertible. So yeah, there you go, that's what I've done. But we're going to keep it, as I told you. A few little jobs to sort out. So as far as the running issue now goes, this car is now running absolutely perfect. I think it was a combination of 2 or 3 things. So the first thing we changed was the fuel filter. Found out that was in the wrong way, took it for a test drive afterwards. It improved it, but it still had a little bit of a misfire higher up the rev range and weren't quite performing as it should do, although it was better than what it was. Then we cleaned the throttle body. That sort of didn't have really much of an effect, I don't think. And then we changed the mass airflow sensor, and that totally transformed it. So the symptoms were a misfire, starting up from poor, starting up all right, but when you go to blip the throttle, then it would hesitate, blah, 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 and then conk out. And then after about 2 minutes, then it would run all right, but it would still run very woolly. The woolliness is now totally gone through changing that. So it just shows you, doesn't it? I did check the old one, as I said to you, on the OBD2 tester, and when I revved it up, when I done a live graph on it, it was only going up to about 0.6, 0.4 volts. I think that should have been going up to about 3 or 4 volts. The higher, faster you put the harder down you put the pressure on the accelerator pedal. But I don't know. Never checked a math sensor before, so we live and learn, don't we? Anyway, there you go. Little cheap fix there. I'm going to leave this video here now just to let you know that it's now running absolutely perfect, and we'll see you in the next video where I should be doing some detailing, valeting, cleaning up, stuff like that, to get this car now ready for Sharon. It's all legal now. It's taxed, insured, MOT'd, all that lot, as you know. But we want to clean it as if we were going to valet it to get it sold, but we're not, obviously. So anyway, thanks very much, folks. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.